Hello, 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 hello. It's Sean Brady here with another fabulous episode of Medici Marketplace Podcast. And I'm here with the one, the only, the very fabulous Caren Libbey of Image Media. Caren, how you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm good. Life is great right now.
It sure is. We're in the holiday spirit and the holiday season and getting ready for 2018. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about Image Media, your company that you started and have been around. How long has it been around now?
I am celebrating a decade. January 1st of 2018.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
That's awesome.
I think it's going to stick around for a while.
I think you're right.
Yes.
I think you have some prowess and acumen that will be just getting stronger and better.
Well, it's consistently evolved over the years. I started out with the first year being all about photography.
Yeah.
And I decided it was a good idea for me to include some of the other services that I've learned about over the years in my career in the corporate world and other entrepreneurial experiences. And I started building websites and developing marketing programs, and ultimately just incorporated my photography into those services.
That's so great. And so I know you've been building out a lot of different websites for a lot of different people. Just networking around the greater St. Louis community. I run into this person and that person, and they go, "Oh yeah, Image Media, Caren Libbey, she did my website." I'm like, "What?" So you've done a lot of people's websites.
I've had the good fortune of meeting so many fascinating people and being part of their lives during a period where I'm able to help them build their brand and bring it to life on the web. And so in that process, I get to know them better. I understand their business better. And it's my job to take them from the point A to point Z, actually.
Wow.
Because a lot of the projects that I do for them evolve over the years. I've gone back and redone some of the websites and certainly have updated them on a regular basis.
So that's the easy part. For our audience out there, I always like to ask the big question. I know I've asked you that at least once before, but I'll ask it again. Things that people can do to take their business to the next level with their website presence, media presence. You certainly have a photography angle, so you're very image oriented. From your expertise, what are a couple, three things that could be a pet peeve of yours, but you really wish more people did with their own image, media marketing? What would you love to see them do?
Well, first of all, the pre-planning is really important. It doesn't make any difference what stage you're in. If you're ready to upgrade and share where you are with people, it's essential that you take a look at the whole picture of where you are in your brand and your marketing at that time, and then sit down and look at what you want to do going forward in every single area. And that doesn't just involve digital. That's also print. It's also networking. It's everywhere that you communicate with people. I would say the website is your 24/7 go-to for anyone in the world to see what you're doing. And you want that to reflect where you are and where you want to go. So I always begin with that. That being said, there's a lot of preliminary work that needs to be done before your website gets to that point where it expresses where you are. And in doing that preliminary planning, you also are taking time to focus on your business. It forces you to do that.
Yes.
On a deeper level. So that piece is really essential. The web design itself and the marketing systems that go around that are just the tools that we use that follow that process. That process is the most challenging, quite honestly. And I spent a lot of time with a client or a team in that phase because there are a lot of decisions that need to be made. When you come to the table with the project idea, that's just the beginning. From that point on, you really need assistance from, depending on the size of the project, from different people and teams that may be essential in your building process.
There's a couple things that you said that I wanted to highlight was pre-planning is so huge. It reminds me of, when people are on the fence and they're not taking any action, then of course Mike Kitko. He has his MIA. Are you familiar with his MIA?
Yes.
Massive imperfect action, right?
That's good.
And that's a great start. Mm-hmm. But I love what you said because I think that's the theme where marketplace is really not only highlighting, but it's just a theme from everyone who I've interviewed and talked with so far, and everyone who I've prepped for their future interviews, is just that, is you have to lay out your course in a whole new way. You have to think about your business in a different way, because the things that are going to get you to the next level aren't enough to sustain what you've been doing. So, you do have to think about your pre-planning and where do you want your marketing overall, digital, print, electronic, everything to go. So it's all congruent and moving in the same direction. And David Berger said the same thing. I hear strategy and all of that. That's, Adam Kreitman's big thing, and certainly a lot of other people that we've interviewed so far. What else would you really, in this episode, like people to think about as they're doing their pre-planning session for their business, for media? What do you like having people think about?
Think about it as a building process. It's daunting to come up with all the decisions before products are launched, or digital products in this particular case are launched. Just come up with a basic, simple plan, and have in that plan a growth plan as well. What you want to do down the road. Some people want to tackle the digital initially and just start with a website and maybe a couple of social platforms. Maybe they'll add an email marketing campaign with that over time. They'll go into Facebook advertising, maybe Google AdWords. But you don't have to do all that at once. It's better to have a plan and begin with a simple, basic plan. With the website planning is busy enough. I mean, that'll keep you going and help you build everything else out.
It does. And so you reminded me of the thing I did with Josh yesterday. Josh Libbey like a Chevy. We talked about marketing ROI, and from we sometimes those things are intangible. So another one of those things is, what is the thing that you want to be able to measure as because it's an investment you're making in marketing. Is that just like you're throwing money at marketing and it's like, okay, that's just gone money? Well, if you begin to track it and think about what you want to track, then it becomes a measurable thing that says, oh, this was worth it or not. And, I've used my mother as an example, who's an artist. She has some awesome paintings out there in the world for sale. And she isn't tracking her business investment the right way, or her ROI as far as getting these things sold, or getting the right amount of views, or getting, what's her conversion. So there's a lot of things that are lost. So pre-planning, it can be a little daunting, but go through the process. You'll be happy with it. Caren Libbey of Image Media, thank you for this episode.
My pleasure.
Thank you for sharing your expertise and wisdom. And I know we'll have many, many more episodes in the future. So for you out there in social media, thanks for listening. We'll see you out there. Especially when there's a pause going on. It's great fun stuff.